For decades, the subject of non-human intelligence has existed on the borders of public discussion, often dismissed or ridiculed. In recent years, however, that landscape has changed dramatically. Former intelligence officials, military personnel, and government insiders have begun speaking openly, offering accounts that suggest humanity is being gradually prepared for a profound revelation. One of the most striking claims comes from former CIA agent John Ramirez, who has stated that something immense is scheduled to be revealed in 2027, an event he believes will fundamentally change humanity's understanding of reality. According to Ramirez, the steady increase in official acknowledgement surrounding unidentified aerial phenomena is not accidental. Instead, it represents a deliberate, long-term strategy designed to acclimate the global population to a truth that would once have been impossible to process without widespread disruption. He suggests that what many interpret as secrecy, denial, or inconsistency from government institutions is actually part of a controlled disclosure process. This process, he claims, is intended to reduce shock and panic when the truth is finally unveiled. Ramirez has explained that this preparation extends far beyond the United States. In his view, governments around the world are quietly coordinating efforts to normalize the idea of advanced non-human intelligence. The reason, he says, is simple. If a powerful and unfamiliar presence were to openly appear without warning, humanity's historical reactions to the unknown could repeat themselves on a global scale, leading to fear, instability, and chaos. Gradual disclosure, by contrast, allows people time to adjust emotionally, intellectually, and culturally. Central to Ramirez's perspective is his belief that humanity is not dealing with a single phenomenon, but several distinct types of intelligence. He has spoken of what he calls residents, visitors, and strangers. The residents, he believes, are entities that existed on Earth long before modern humans emerged. In his view, these beings may have played a role in humanity's development, guiding early evolution in subtle ways. This belief challenges conventional evolutionary narratives, suggesting that human advancement may not have occurred entirely in isolation. The visitors, according to Ramirez, are intelligences originating from elsewhere in the cosmos. These beings, he suggests, come and go, observing or interacting in ways that are not yet fully understood. The strangers, however, are the most unsettling category. Ramirez has admitted uncertainty about their origins, noting that reports involving these entities often include disturbing physical or psychological aftereffects. While his statements remain controversial, they reflect a growing willingness among former officials to discuss experiences that were once kept strictly classified. This broader shift in openness aligns with recent developments in public hearings and testimony. Former Air Force intelligence officer David Grush's appearance before a House Oversight Subcommittee marked a turning point. His statements regarding long-running retrieval and reverse engineering programs lent credibility to claims that governments possess technology not derived from human innovation. The fact that such testimony occurred in a public forum signaled that the topic had crossed an important threshold. If Ramirez's prediction is accurate, 2027 represents more than a disclosure date. It represents a transition point in human history. The confirmation of advanced non-human intelligence would force humanity to confront its place in the universe in ways previously reserved for philosophy or speculative fiction. Science would be transformed almost overnight. Fields such as physics, materials science, and energy research could be revolutionized by the study of technologies capable of feats far beyond current human capability. The implications extend beyond technology. Biology itself could be redefined if evidence emerges that non-human intelligences influenced human development. Long-standing assumptions about evolution, genetics, and consciousness would need to be re-examined. Even the origins of life on Earth could take on new meaning if connections to external intelligence are confirmed. Religion and philosophy would also face profound challenges. Many belief systems are built upon the idea of human uniqueness. The acknowledgement of advanced non-human beings would prompt theological reflection, reinterpretation, and, for some, spiritual crisis. Others, however, might see such a revelation as an expansion rather than a contradiction of their beliefs, viewing humanity as part of a far greater creation. On a societal level, the psychological impact could be immense. For some, the realization that humanity is not alone would inspire awe and unity. For others, it could provoke fear or uncertainty. Ramirez has emphasized that preparation is essential precisely because of these varied reactions. Education, transparency, and responsible communication would be necessary to help societies adapt. Governments would also face unprecedented challenges. National security concepts would need to evolve beyond terrestrial threats. International cooperation could become less optional and more essential, as no single nation could claim authority over interactions with advanced non-human intelligence. The very structure of global governance might be reshaped by the need to respond collectively. What makes Ramirez's claims particularly compelling to many is not just their content, but their context. They emerge during a period when official denials are giving way to cautious acknowledgement. Language has shifted from ridicule to seriousness. Documents are being declassified. Whistleblowers are being heard rather than silenced. Each step appears to reinforce the idea that something significant is approaching. Whether the revelation in 2027 takes the form of undeniable evidence, direct contact, or a formal acknowledgement of long-hidden truths, its impact would be irreversible. Human history would be divided into a before and after. Ramirez's message is not framed as a warning, but as a call for readiness. In his view, humanity stands on the threshold of a new era, one that demands maturity, humility, and a willingness to accept that reality is far more complex than once believed. For many years, a growing number of researchers, former officials, and members of the public have believed that the Central Intelligence Agency holds far more knowledge about unidentified aerial phenomena and non-human intelligence than it has ever acknowledged. This belief has intensified as former intelligence officers step forward with statements suggesting that disclosure is not only real, but carefully managed. Among those voices, one former CIA officer has become central to discussions, with many people now saying that if anyone would truly know what is happening behind the scenes, it would be the CIA. If these claims are accurate, the consequences would not simply be political or scientific. They would permanently alter the course of human history itself. The CIA has long been viewed as one of the most advanced intelligence institutions on the planet. From its earliest days, it was designed to operate beyond conventional military and diplomatic structures, focusing on information, analysis, and long-term strategic awareness. Unlike agencies that respond to immediate threats, the CIA's mission has always involved anticipating future realities before they become visible to the public. Because of this, many believe it would be the natural repository for information related to advanced technologies or non-human intelligence operating beyond normal human understanding. Those who support this view often point to the agency's access to classified satellite data, signal intelligence, international assets, and historical archives that span decades. While the public may only see fragments of information released through hearings or official statements, intelligence agencies operate with a far broader picture. According to believers, this means the CIA may have been quietly studying unidentified phenomena for generations, long before the topic entered mainstream discussion. The idea that a former CIA officer is onto something resonates deeply with people who feel that recent developments are not random. Over the past several years, language surrounding unidentified aerial phenomena has shifted dramatically. Where ridicule once dominated, careful acknowledgement has taken its place. Reports have been reclassified, terms updated, and officials have begun admitting that certain encounters cannot be explained using known technology. For many observers, this progression feels deliberate, reinforcing the belief that intelligence agencies are guiding public understanding step by step. If these claims are genuine, then disclosure is not a sudden event, but the final phase of a long process. Supporters argue that intelligence agencies understand human psychology well enough to know that abrupt revelations could destabilize societies. Instead, gradual exposure allows cultures, belief systems, and institutions to adapt. In this view, the CIA is not hiding information out of malice, but managing it in preparation for a future moment when the truth can no longer remain hidden. The implications of such inside knowledge are staggering. If intelligence agencies possess confirmed evidence of non-human intelligence, then every major assumption about humanity's place in the universe changes instantly. History would no longer be defined solely by human achievement. Instead, It would be reframed as a shared timeline influenced, directly or indirectly, by forces beyond Earth. This would represent the most profound shift in perspective humanity has ever experienced. Science would be transformed first. The confirmation of advanced non-human technology would render many current limitations obsolete overnight. Concepts once considered theoretical could become practical realities. Energy generation, propulsion, materials, science, and even the understanding of time and space might evolve rapidly once studied through a new lens. If intelligence agencies have been aware of this for decades, it would explain why some technological leaps seem to appear suddenly, without clear developmental paths. Beyond science, philosophy and religion would face an unprecedented moment of reckoning. For thousands of years, humanity has defined itself as the central intelligent force in the known universe. The confirmation of advanced non-human intelligence would challenge that assumption at its core. Some belief systems might adapt, finding new meaning in a broader cosmic context. Others could struggle, forced to reinterpret long-held doctrines. In either case, human self-identity would be permanently altered. Society itself would also change. Nations are built on borders, ideologies, and power structures that assume humanity is alone. The realization that this is not the case could shift priorities away from division and toward collective survival and understanding. Many believe that this is precisely why intelligence agencies would move cautiously. A truth of this magnitude cannot be introduced without preparing humanity to respond maturely rather than emotionally. Those who trust the former CIA officer's claims often argue that the agency's silence is itself telling. Intelligence organizations rarely comment on topics they consider insignificant. Their careful wording, selective releases, and consistent refusal to fully deny certain phenomena are interpreted as signs of awareness rather than ignorance. In this interpretation, silence is not absence of knowledge, but confirmation that something extraordinary exists beyond public reach. If disclosure does occur, historians of the future may look back on this period as the threshold between eras. Human history would be divided into before and after awareness. Every major event, from technological revolutions to cultural movements, would be re-examined in light of this new understanding. Humanity's story would expand from a planetary narrative into a cosmic one. Perhaps most importantly, such a revelation would force humanity to grow up.